Okay, so we're back talking about fishing the spawn on the Bighorn River. And I guess, again, to kind of redirect me on this, because I do get off track all the fucking time. That's that marijuana quality. That's what that is. It's easy.
Part of one of the side effects.
It is. Yeah, it's a wonderful side effect, actually. I love to just go on for nothing. So, should people do this? And I'm going to come right out and say it as an egg seller. As an egg seller, you should not fish spawning beds on the Bighorn River in December.
You shouldn't fish spawning beds anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's just that as it pertains to our area, I think this is the most definable spawn by far. Yeah. And obviously there's fish spawning on the Stillwater and the Yellowstone and the Boulder and everywhere. But the Bighorn, as far as an amateur, can spot reds on the Bighorn.
Yeah, they're a lot easier to see for sure.
Fuck it, with these flows, water clarity's kind of so still, but it'll clear up every day. And I mean, it's like, shit, it's sediment covered rock, white rock.
Yeah.
That's a fucking bed. So it isn't like it's hard. And at some point they won't be quite as tight on them, but they're very, very catchable right now, and they will be for the next few weeks on the Bighorn. So if you're all into pleasure and no substance or no skill, go to the Bighorn and drift an egg setup.
And get your eggs from East Rosebud Fly Shop.
Thank you, Booty. Fuck, thank you, and do. Right now on that river, you could catch a brown trout of a lifetime. You could catch several 20-inch fish if you worked hard. And the opportunity to catch those fish right now, like I'm describing, is very real.
Yeah. So, and you could do it not throwing egg. You can go throw streamers and do it, working hard. And
True, but we're not, that the thing is that that's really not who we're talking about, though, because that dude or that gal, that streamer angler, they're already going to do that.
That's true.
And we're talking about a unique angler that really, when I fished out in Oregon this last week and in the past, that whole thing was a fucking meat fest. The number of people fishing for sport to put a fish that's going to die 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks later, they're just not fishing it. I've put every Chinook salmon I've ever caught in those fisheries back. And my guide, who's a professional, who is a superb fly angler-oriented North Coast Oregon guide, this dude, he'll look right at you and say, "You want to keep this? Like, let's fillet this motherfucker."
It's going to die anyway.
Well, just, delicious.
Yeah.
Going to die anyway, yeah, but delicious. So I just don't think this way. But the guy that we're talking about as it pertains to the horn is, he is going there to get his rocks off once a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's right. He's that, he's that kind of nerd. Hey, I've already said enough. I've already lost that customer if they're not going to shop with me now because of shit I've said. So I'm going to call them out. It's kind of that nerd. It's that nerdy angler. Don't really got any game probably to speak of, right?
Yeah, and the people who know, if they see the photo, they
Yeah, and I don't mean nerd in a bad way, but motherfucker makes more dough than me, right? Ain't total nerd, but kind of a nerd as far as fishing, because there's not going to be really a lot of sport in the guy, and I keep referencing sport because the sport part of us is somebody that wants it challenging.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The evolution of it all goes from bait fishing, which is where I started.
That's where I started.
To lure fishing, where I got proficient at casting and retrieving lures, had a lot of fun. Got my first taste of, I just saw that trout come out of there and chase my lure. That's some fun shit.
That's exactly where I started too.
Yep. And that's why I'm a streamer angler today, is that same type of buzz I got from retrieving a Mepps lure.
Feeling them hit, watching them chase. Yeah.
So you get into fly fishing for varied reasons, but a lot of times those reasons are because you want it to be harder. That's why else would it be? Sure, try to eat a lot of insects and, matching the hatch and the natural part of it is a big part. But, I mean, you want to fly fish because you got maybe bored of fishing the other way, right? But the guy that's going to go up there and just sit there and pound those reds like that with what I'm describing is like, that's void of sport. And that's why I think it'd be nice to see Fish and Game step up a little bit and really define whether or not that hurts a fishery that's had a tumultuous 10 years.
Yeah.
And could always have a tumultuous 10 years, because in the debate of water release on the Bighorn River, and I'm not going to get into that because, the 10 people listening to this don't give a fuck. They've probably already tuned out, right?
Yeah.
We're 20 minutes in, so they're like, fuck it, that was just okay. But
part 2 is going to have a lot less views, probably.
Yeah, for no question. Right. So, but the Bureau of Reclamation, they got a tough job. They've got a tough job. But, man, I am not a water expert, but I can just fucking tell how these guys don't fucking know what they're doing.
Yeah, sometimes it seems that way.
It is that fucking way. Just ask the Bighorn River Alliance. I mean, seriously, and so my point is, it's always going to be tough on that river. Water affects population, size of habitat, the releases in the spring, that can impact the rainbow spawn. We talked about it. So I don't know if that river needs hero fishing in December. And, I'm sitting in here talking like this, I'm fucking fantasizing. There ain't don't worry anybody. This, nobody's going to take away your spawning beds in December on the Bighorn. Fish and Game isn't going to do it. In my opinion, don't fucking matter. I think there's a value to us bringing a little bit of a different perspective. That doesn't mean that you're coming in and buying eggs from me personally and I'm fucking laughing at you when you leave. It's not like that. But I remember a story about a guy who used to run a fly shop here in Billings a long time ago, and they had a customer whose son, a younger son, caught an oversized rainbow, like a 25-inch, 10, 12-pound rainbow on the Bighorn, right, fishing with his dad. And for some reason, this fish didn't make it, or, they kept it. I'm not sure what it was, but he ended up getting it, taxidermed. And this is my friend telling me this, who used to work in the shop. And this guy was talking up this fucking fish that this kid caught. I mean, they showed him a picture and they wanted to see this. And he finally brings in the shadow box. This motherfucker spent some real money with this trout that his kid caught, right? Goddamn family heirloom. Beautiful mount. And right in the mouth was that big fucking egg pattern that kid caught.
They should have left that out.
They should have left that out. But the point is that to this guy talking to me, who this dude is such a badass that they laughed at the guy, that he talked it up, finally brings in this beautiful piece he spent a couple of grand having done, and it was all diminished on a dime because, he put that fucking glow bug in the snout of that thing, which was the same fly the kid caught the rainbow on.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting how certain people, and I think it's experience. I don't think it's blatant arrogance as far as this viewpoint. I think it's experience.
I agree with that.
I do. I really do. And I'm not trying to come off too harsh, because some anglers don't get out a ton and they don't work it so that they earn those good moments that keep us coming back. Hey, I got 2 weeks off for Christmas, right? Yeah. Wife's home baking. It's kind of an annual thing for me and my son-in-law to pick up a couple dozen fucking eggs at East Rosebud and go pound the horn for a couple days.
Yeah.
So, it's you kind of get that with some of the people fishing it. But for those of you that are in that transition period as an angler, as a fly angler, meaning that how you catch them matters, I'll put it that way.
And where you catch them.
Thank you, Booty. And where you catch them. What time of year you catch them. A lot of factors. Think about making that transition quicker and not making that part of your calendar year for fishing, is laying off the Bighorn in December, at least as it pertains to hunkering down on any one area and racking up a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
So, and that's really what we're talking about. So, you got anything else?
No, I think you kind of hit it on the head. I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
But people are going to do what they're going to do, and if you are going to do it, buy your eggs at East Rosebud.
I appreciate that. Thank you for that, and I agree. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.